current scenario, we think Greenie gets through to 9-10.
This is why this is a healthy debate. Like, Green's got this leadership drive.
Yeah.
Like, I'm saying Green's a pick 4.
Yeah, absolutely.
Absolute out and out.
Yeah.
Now, forget where our list is at the moment. Green is a bona fide pick 4. Then we take Ash, and then we take
The bid might come for Greenie, and Melbourne might bid at 10.
40 and 59 and 60.
They get sucked up. We've got 2 late picks.
We need a forward. We need another forward option.
That's why, yeah.
Now, preferably, I'd love to have either a medium or a tall to show.
Yeah, so Mccartey's a developing key forward.
Yeah.
I'd pick him at pick 30.
Oh, right.
Yeah, he sits above all the rest.
And how old is he?
He's 20. He's done a 2-year apprenticeship at Werribee. He's a developing key forward who's got tools to help us.
Right.
Yeah. He won the medal for the VFL's best young player this year. If we can trade up to pick 55, we would be trading up for a card.
And then you would take Hutchison. I like the old-fashioned Hutchison, tough, hard,
Difo.
speed, agility. No, those sort of guys, if they're rough and hard, they find a way to play a full game.
And then it's Sheridan, Sprout and Stein on Friday as rookies, and we're done.
Tonight will be relatively easy unless the curveball's thrown. If the curveball's thrown,
then we know what we're doing.
We'll just talk a bit about the strategy for tonight. So I think everyone's got a fair handle on where we sit with everything. The start of the trade period, the idea was trade up, get a pick above where the green bid is going to come. I think at the time we all had a fair idea that it was going to come pretty high, and we were sort of thinking 3, 4, 5, 6 in that range. So we've obviously been able to get up through Jace's good work to pick 4. And now we sit here and all the talk from everyone in the industry is the bid's not going to come till pick 10. So I think that's a great result. It doesn't change our sort of strategy for the night, given we're going to go into a deficit either way. But I think the fact that we're going to go up, get a player, and then match the bid for Tom is obviously really, really positive. I think as time's gone on, now that we've got up to pick 4, it's probably become clearer for most of us that the player we want to target at pick 4 is Lachie Ash. Given what we've seen of him all year, given the work we've done on his character and his drive and determination, and I suppose what we think he'll add to our back line.
With pick 4, the GWS Giants have selected Lachie Ash from the Murray Bush Rangers. With pick 10, the GWS Giants have matched Carlton's bid for Tom Green from Eastlake Demons.
Tom was always one that, was a bit of an unknown as to where the bid was going to come. Our strategy was always try and get above the bid as high as we could. So we got to 4 and we felt pretty comfortable that he wasn't going to get bid by 4. So as soon as we had an idea that, we were going to get to 4 and it was going to be a live pick, we really targeted Lachie Ash for that pick. We just thought that his ability to run and carry, his production levels over the past 3 years for Vic Country and the Murray Bush Rangers were high. He helps us in a position that, perhaps with some outgoings in the next couple of years with Shaw and Reid, we feel like, there might be an opening there for him. And I suppose just his drive and want to improve was the other thing that ticked him over the edge for us. Obviously, after Lachie was taken, we knew that the bid was going to come somewhere in that 5 to 12 or 13 range. So sitting there waiting for it to come, it came at pick 10, happy to match the bid. Yes, we go into deficit, but we feel like what we've been able to achieve through the trade period and the draft, to be able to give up picks to give ourselves a chance to get a pick above Tom, get Lachie in, match the bid for Tom. Yes, we know that we're out of the first couple of rounds next year, but we're really happy with what we've been able to achieve in those 2 players. Tom is just a fantastic midfielder. He's proven this year captaining the Allies and playing at such a high level for them and for the Giants Academy over the journey as well. We know him intimately because he's been involved so heavily with our footy club. Just his character, and just his want to work hard and train and get the most out of himself. Those sort of attributes are exactly what we're about bringing in. So yeah, with those two boys, we're really confident in what they're going to be able to add to our list. So we'll gather tomorrow. We're going to be back at Marvel at 4 o'clock tomorrow afternoon, just in case any trade opportunities present. The recruiting team will have some discussions before that. So we'll have the morning off, reassess, regroup, gather our thoughts, have a bit of a chat early afternoon tomorrow around 2 or 3 o'clock as a recruiting team, and then head over to Marvel. We've got 2 selections that we'll use. So I suppose for us it's about prioritising, what our order would be with those selections. They're going to be late picks, so there's an unknown of who's going to be there, who's not. I suppose, as we do with any draft, you just work out your order, work out your strategy and see what happens. We are open to, potentially, trading back into the draft. There are some restrictions around that and how high we might be able to get, and it is dependent on whether the players we like are still available. If the ones that we want to target are not available and there's no use us trading back in, then we're happy to just sit with what we've got. But I think, we're just keeping an open mind to what we could be able to achieve tomorrow, with a couple of meetings in the afternoon to determine our plans.
With pick 51, GWS Giants have selected Jake Mccartey from Werribee Football Club. With pick 65, GWS Giants have selected Thomas Hutchinson from Adelaide Football Club.
Yeah, so we came in this morning and had really good discussion around what our plans would be on the night. We were always hoping to try and push into the middle part of the draft if the players that we like are available, and once we sort of hit around pick 40 onwards, we were really trying aggressively to get in a similar way that we did last year. Jake Mccartey was the player that we targeted. We thought, okay, he's available, let's try and get in and get him before our pick hit that was around 70 at the point. We didn't think he would be getting there, so we started hitting clubs up, trying to get in. Eventually we got a bite with Collingwood, pick 51, and they were happy to do that deal, and we were just wrapped to sneak in and get Jake. So I suppose we looked at all our options with that late pick, and we knew it was late in the draft. There's probably not going to be very many options slipping through to there because most of the other players we liked had gone. But Tom was really the one that we had targeted pretty much for the last few months. He was a player that our South Australian scout Tyson Burke identified for us early in the year playing for the Adelaide SANFL team. We just feel like he's got a lot to offer us as that smaller forward who can go into the midfield. We're wrapped. I think if you spoke to us at the start of the draft and said that was going to be our 4 players, we would have definitely taken that. It was always the plan for us to go in and take Ash and Green on night 1, and then night 2 we sort of felt like it was going to be difficult for us to get back in and get Riccardi, but we were obviously wrapped to be able to do that, so that probably exceeded our expectations. We always had confidence that Hutchison was going to be there with our last pick, but I suppose you never know what other clubs are going to do, and we didn't know if anything else was going to slip through either. But as a whole, we feel like we addressed needs. We brought in players who might help us in the short term, but they're definitely going to help us in the long term, and I think that's the priority always as a recruiting team.